Well, hello everyone. If you have experienced the funness of issues with Canon printers in the last week, you are not alone. On May 31st, there was a massive firmware issue with Canon printers, so you are not alone in this. I was a victim of it as well. I researched like crazy. I looked everywhere trying to find any type of anything on the internet of forums, blogs, and couldn't find anything. I unplugged the printer. I was holding the stop button down while it was unplugged for 30 seconds. I was holding down the on button. I looked everywhere, couldn't find anything. I had honestly resigned myself to the fact that I'm going to have to buy myself a new printer. And if you've looked at pricing or looked to try to find a printer, there's nothing out there. It is a very, very grim market. It is just another thing that there are shortages everywhere. There are not printers out there. So what had happened, I called into Canon support, and they are phenomenal help and awesome human beings there that walk through everything. On May 31st, there was a firmware issue, for lack of better words. And he goes that it happened not just with I have a Canon Maxify MB2320, but it wasn't just with yours. It was a lot of many whole bunch of Canons. But it's a very, very easy fix. So he goes, with your searching stuff, if you were searching your specific model, your model wasn't really prevalent in this bug, but that's probably why you couldn't find it. So I want to walk through how to fix this because I couldn't find anything, and if I couldn't find anything, I'm guessing other people are having the same issue, not being able to find anything. So what you're going to do first is to unplug your printer for 20 seconds. Now, when I was talking to the representative, as we were talking, I'm sure that it was unplugged for longer than 20 seconds, but unplug it for at least 20 seconds, plug it back in. Now, once it was plugged back in, this is the first time I've been able to move the screen once it was unplugged. What was happening before is that the Maxify screen would come up and it would just cycle through and make these weird, really bizarre sounds. The light over here would just blink and blink and blink. This was going on for over a week. Like I said, it was just very frustrating. I really thought I was going to have to buy a new printer, and I was not happy about this. So that was what's happening. It would just not stop, or it would just go completely black. But nothing could never get past the Maxify LCD screen here. So once you're there and you're able to actually move this, you're going to go down over to the setup button here. From there, the second option is device settings, perform various settings. From there, you're going to go down to the third option, which is LAN settings. From there, you're going to go down to the last option down here called other settings. From there, the second option is TCP IP settings. Then the first option here is IPv4 settings. From there, this little box comes up and says LAN communications may be disabled depending on your environment. Set this setting. Go ahead and hit yes to this. Then you're going to go down to the second setting, which says DNS server. Then most likely yours is set up to auto. I've already changed mine, so mine says manual. I'm going to go ahead and hit manual setup. From here, you probably have a bunch of different numbers in here. I don't know how yours is set up, but you're going to want to change it. It's very simple to change it. You're just going to click on the boxes here, change all of these to 0. All of them except the very last box. The last box needs to be changed to 001. Once you do that, go ahead and hit OK. Then from there it says, do you want to set up a secondary server? You do not. Go ahead and hit no. Then it says processing, please wait momentarily. This takes 30 seconds or so. It doesn't take very long. You're going to go through here, and then it's going to flash back here. You're going to see in a second here, and back to the IP4 or something like that. And then you're just going to hit this, or DNS, and then you're going to hit home. That's it. So that's it for this portion. Now from here now, go ahead and try printing something. Speaking with the customer service representative, which was so insanely helpful. I cannot speak enough good words and positive vibes to the Canon customer service representative. They were phenomenally awesome at helping me and supporting me and assisting me through all this. So once you print something, he goes, everyone I've helped thus far has been able to print. After that, once you've reached that step, they've been able to print. So that's awesome. So from here, print. It may take 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, at this point we've unplugged the computer, so that resets something. Then we just change the settings, our LAN setting, or DNS settings. So that's changed. So it may take 3 minutes. If you for me, it was like the triple effect there. I had at that point, then I had to change ink, and I was out of paper. So a lot of things were going on. So it took like 5 minutes for mine to print. So here's the caveat to all this, is that this is a pseudo temporary fix. So what I mean by that, and this is what I was explained to me, is that if you ever have to reset any settings, reset setting, there's a lot of resetting there, a lot of settings in that last sentence here. But for instance, like when I was trying to get this to work before calling Canon, I was holding down the stop button, I was holding down the on button, I was doing all these things that are supposed to reset your printer back to original settings. If you do that later on, that's going to knock all this out. So the hardcore fix to all this is to download firmware, which would make this permanent. Now, most of us think, okay, so I just go onto Canon and I download the firmware and I'm good to go. Normally, yes, they haven't gotten to the point where you can download wirelessly that firmware. So in order to do that, you'd actually have to take a printer cable, which a lot of people, when was the last time you had a printer cable? I sure don't. So you'd have to take a printer cable, download the firmware. If you go to Canon's site, I would search, my MB2320. First, you're going to see the driver tab, click on firmware, I think it was like June 3rd, June 6th, download it, and then take that, download it, and then transfer that via the cable onto here. If you actually do have a printer cable, that's phenomenal. And you're like, hey, I'm not really sure how to do that. No worries, call Canon customer service. Their phone number is in the notes. They'll walk you through all of it. They're super, super helpful. So that is the, temporary fix, and it should work for the time being. If you don't have a printer cable, don't freak out about it. Like you should be good to go right now. But I did want to get this out there so everyone knew how to do it. Where I couldn't find anything about this. I cannot be the only one that's having this issue. So trying to find some. So everyone, hope this helped at least one person out there. And yeah, don't go buy a new printer. This is a very simple fix once you get to the right person and know how to fix it. So good luck, and if I can help in any way, happy to do so. All right, have a good one. Bye.